Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the NOAA's Broadcasting Report. I am Mark Brian Manuel,
Andrea Joy Polastico,
and we are delighted to be your host for today's special broadcasting report. In this report, we will delve into the latest news and development around the world, bringing you up-to-date information on various topics that are shaping our lives today. To discuss about promoting employee safety and health and its branches. We will cover a broad spectrum of the subject to keep you well informed and engaged. As we navigate through this ever-changing world, it is crucial to stay informed about the events and trends that impact our societies, economies, and daily lives. Now for our first reporter, Mr. Jay Shoko, I will give it to you.
Good evening everyone, I'm Jay Shoko. I'm here to discuss about safety and health. What is safety and health? Safety refers to a condition in which the physical well-being of people at work is protected, and health refers to a general state, physical, mental, and emotional well-being of people at work. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration is the federal agency responsible for protecting the health and safety of workers. Safety and health is about ensuring the safety, health, and security of people at work. These are the following causes of work accident and illnesses in a workplace. Number one is unsafe working conditions. These refer mechanical and physical conditions that cause accidents. They include factors such as defective machineries and equipments. For example po, meron pong isang machine na biglang sumabog at isa po ito nakapinsala or nagdulot ng aksidente sa manggagawa. Isa po ito sa mga example ng unsafe working condition. The second is unsafe act or the undesirable attitude of some employees such as other work-related accident factor. Bali, ito po yung aksidente na ikaw ang empleyado mismo ang gumawa ng sarili niyang aksidente. Or for example, horseplaying. Naglalaro sila sa loob ng workplace tapos biglang na aksidente. So, isa po itong example ng unsafe act. And the third is natural disaster. 2% sa mga nabanggit ko, bihirang-bihira lang po nangyayari ang aksidente nagmula sa natural disaster. Katulad po ng lindol. Lindol is bihira lang po dumating sa atin. Pero once na sa loob ka ng tindahan or sa loob ka ng workplace, for example, umakyat ka sa taas, for example sa mga construction worker, nasa taas sila ng palapag, tapos biglang lumindol, nalaglag sila. Hindi rin natin may iwasan ang aksidente sa natural disaster or sa lindol or any natural disaster na dumarating sa atin. Kaya sa lahat po ng mga manggagawa natin, dapat po tayong mag-ingat, lalong-lalo na po sa panantrabaho, kasi ito po, katawan lang po yung puhunan natin sa ating trabaho. At maraming salamat po.
Now let's take a look of what is Mrs. Eliza Jane Cabrera about her report. Ms. Cabrera?
My topic is all about medical and dental services. This chapter elaborates the responsibilities of an employer in terms of his personnel's medical, dental, and occupational safety. It is important to discuss as well as detailed informations divided in articles on how an employer can take care of his employees to the fullest whilst abiding to labor standards. Article 156, First Aid Treatment. Every employer must ensure the safety of his employees at all times. This includes securing first aid kits in visible or accessible areas in the workplace, and also implementing safety measures in accordance with the Department of Labor and Employment standards. Article 157 Emergency Medical and Dental Services. It is the responsibility of an employer to ensure free medical and dental services for his employees, as well as facilitate to cater these services such as: first, full-time registered nurse for 50 to 200 employees, and if the workplace is not hazardous or not dangerous, a graduate first aider is sufficient. Second, a full-time registered nurse, a part-time physician and dentist with an emergency clinic for 200 to 300 employees. And third, and more than 300 employees, a full-time registered nurse, full-time physician and dentist with a dental clinic and an emergency hospital with one bed capacity for every 100 employees. For that services, in a dangerous workplace, employers must assure that they should stay for a minimum of 2 hours. For full-time physician and dentist, they should render their services for not less than 8 hours. If the workplace is not dangerous, physician and dentist can be engaged in a retainer basis under regulation of Secretary Labor and Employment. Retainer basis means the employers pays the physicians and dentists a fixed pay for a specified period of time, usually on monthly or quarterly basis. Article 158 when an emergency hospital is not required. An employer may not necessarily provide an emergency hospital and dental clinic if there is an accessible one near their workplace or establishment, but it is his responsibility to book appointments and ensure that these employees are catered in near hospital. The Article 159 Health Program. The acquired physician shall conduct or facilitate occupational health programs for the employees for their overall safety and wellness. Article 160 Qualification of Health Personnel. It is important to note that the health personnel hired by the employer must have undergone all the necessary stages to be eligible for their profession, such as trainings, assessment, and certifications. Moreover, the Secretary of Labor and Employment will furthermore determine the qualifications. Article 161 Assistant of Employer. It is the full responsibility of the employer to provide the necessary medical assistance of his employees whenever needed. Medicare. Article 209 Medical Care. The Philippine Medical Care Plan shall be implemented as provided under RA No. 6111 as amended. The Act calls for the progressive implementation of a comprehensive and coordinated government and private medical care program while retaining the insured's freedom of choice of physician and hospital. Both elements of the program anticipate the identical care. This Act establishes and governs the standardization and regulation of medical education, the examination or for physician registration, and the monitoring, control, and regulation of medical practice in the Philippines. That's all my topic. Back to you, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful news, Mrs. Cabrera. Now let's go to the report of Miss Rhea. Miss Rhea?
Article 168. Compulsory coverage. It is required and mandatory by law if you are over 60 years old and paying contributions, you are qualified for retirement. For example, teachers and military personnel. Article 169. Foreign employment. It is the insurance for our OFW or overseas Filipino workers. Article 170. The effective date of coverage is the date in which a person's coverage under the insurance policy begins for that year or period. For example, you are applying for a job in a company and that job requires 1 month training. That doesn't mean na wala kang benefits or kanang the benefits covers the Article 171, registration. It is mandatory to the company to register her employees to the system like SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig. Article 172, limitation of liability. The company is liable if the employee is having an accident inside the premises. But if the injury is intended, the company will not compensate the employee. For example, suicide. Article 173, extent of liability. This one is if the employee is unable to receive the compensation, the dependents or the beneficiaries is entitled to receive in behalf of the employee. Article 174, liability of the third parties, refers bodily injury caused to persons because of a negligent or reckless third-party actions or omissions. Article 175, deprivation of benefits. No one should deny or denounce the employee's benefits and medical.
That's really interesting, huh? Now that Miss Rhea explained it, then let's proceed to Miss Christine. Miss Christine?
Thank you, Mark. Good day, everyone. This is Christine from Ako Davao de Oro. Today, administration is the main focus of my report. There are too many health and safety challenges in the workplace for individuals to fend for themselves. That's why every major developed nation has an agency tasked with establishing workplace health, safety, benefits, and security regulations. Occupational Health and Safety Administration, in the context of an employee, pertains to the management of policies and practices that safeguard the well-being of workers in the work environment. It involves creating and ensuring safety protocols, conducting regular trainings, assessing health or work environmental hazards, and ensuring compliance of legal regulations. Under the administration of occupational health and safety, there are 5 articles that consist the safety, the benefits, the compensation, and legal regulations. Article 176 or Employee Compensation Commission. The Vice Chairman of the Commission alternates annually between the GSIS General Manager and the 5SS Administrator, with 4 members forming a quorum. Members receive a per diem of 200 pesos for meetings attended and can designate a full-time representative. The GSIS Chief Executive Officers are responsible for managing operations and policies. As a government corporation, the Commission is attached to the Department of Labor and Employment for policy coordination and guidance as amended by Presidential Decree Number 1368. Article 177, Power and Duties. These articles state that the Commission set employers' contribution rates, approve claim rules, initiate health, safety, prevention, and rehabilitation policies, allocate funds, conduct actuarial studies, and ensure the alignment with the compensation system as per Presidential Decree Number 1368. Act 178, the Management of Funds. This act mandates that the management of funds, ensuring all the revenues are deposited, invested, administered, and disbursed by the accordance of Act Number 1161. However, the Commission, the GSIS, as well as the SSS can disburse about 12% of the contribution and investment earnings collected for operational expense and safety program incidental to the carrying out of this title. Article 179, Investment of Funds. These articles state that the revenues are not needed for the operational expenses should be accumulated in the state insurance fund and used exclusively for the benefits. The funds that is established in the SSS and GSIS should be deposited with approved depository banks or invested prudently for the liquidity needs. Article 193, Permanent Partial Disability. Many workers' compensation law provide predetermined benefits based on disability severity. This act introduces permanent partial disability in workers' compensation, describing it as a state where an injured worker can still perform tasks but with reduced pre-injury skill and efficiency, leading to a decreased earning of potential. So, as you can see in the illustration above, the benefit shall be paid for not more than the period designated in the following schedule. So, if your thumb is being lost or injured, the number of months that you are being paid is 10 months, and if your foot is being lost, the number of months that you are being paid is 31 months. So, and at this moment, my discussion will just end it here. Thank you for listening, everyone. Back to you, Mark.
Yes, that's right. Not only this news is interesting, it is also giving us wisdom about these things.
Now let's take a look at Mr. Mark Brian Manuel's report. Mark,
Yes, Ms. Rhea, my topic is all about occupational health and safety, or OHS. There are 4 labor code under of this topic. The first one is the Labor Code 162, or the Safety and Health Standards. It shall be the duty of any employer to provide the necessary assistance to ensure the adequate and immediate medical and dental attendance to treatment an injured or sick employee in case of emergency. For example, this code is focuses only for the safety and health of the employees. Like if the employee is getting injured in the workplace, the company must act fast in order to treat that injured employee. And other function of this is the safety environment of a workplace. Example, in the construction site. The construction workers must have put their protected gear before going into the site in order to minimize some injuries in the site. The second one is the research. The Labor Code 163. In all company, especially in the hardest workplaces, there's a lot of injured and failed safety protocol. In order for this not to happen again, all accident inside the company, inside or outside the company, is being recorded for a reason. That if the same accident happened twice, there must something wrong in that place, in that particular place. If that is being noticed and it will located what really caused the problem, then we can add and upgrade more safety protocols or change the safety protocols in that specific places. The next one is the Labor 164, the training programs. It is for the increased number and the competence of the personnel in the field of the occupational safety and industrial health. This protocol is being handled by the DOLE, or the Department of Labor and Employment. They made this in order to maximize the safety and minimize the injury of a workplace. The last one is the Labor Code 165, Administration of Safety and Health Law. First one is the DOLE. It is the responsible of the safety and health laws, regulation, and standards in all establishment and workplace. They conduct some safety inspections of all establishment to see if it fit their safety and health standards. The second one is the Secretary of the Labor and Employment. It is the personnel who is head of the DOLE and one of the members of the President Cabinet. Right now, the current Secretary in the Department of Labor and Employment is Benevendo Lagosma. His job is the one who tests and approves for the safe use of the material of that establishment. And that's all the topic of this occupational health and safety. In summary, this topic focuses on the safety and health of the employee, because once the employee is being injured, the company is being affected by it. So they must prioritize the health and safety of a employee. That's all about my report. Once again, I am Mark Brian Manuel. Back to you, Rhea.
Thank you for knowledgeable news, Mr. Brian. Wow, this news is giving me some learnings.
Good evening, everyone. My topic is all about medical benefits. Medical services. According to this article, high-quality healthcare aids in illness prevention and improves overall quality of life, improving health and well-being through assisting healthcare professionals in communicating more effectively. Improving health also requires strategies to ensure that healthcare providers are informed of treatment recommendations and suggested services. The purpose of these medical services is to keep people healthy by preventing, diagnosing, treating, ameliorating, or curing diseases, illnesses, injuries, and other physical and mental impairments. Professionals in the field of health and allied health provides healthcare, physician services, nurse and therapist services, dental services, hospital services, skilled nursing facility services, comprehensive outpatient rehabilitation services, home healthcare services, residential and outpatient behavior services are all examples of medical and healthcare services provided to a person, including but not limited to medical and healthcare services covered by an insurance policy. And for me, health is more important than income since it gives you a sense of well-being if you are physically healthy. As a result, you'll be contented no matter how much money someone spends on material items. They will not be able to enjoy them to the maximum if they are not in good health. Article 186 Liability. Article 186 pertains to a system likely related to workers' compensation. So this articles outlines several key points. One is authority to choose or order changes. The system, which could be a workers' compensation system or a similar regulatory body, possesses the authority to make decisions regarding the choice or alteration of a physician, hospital, or rehabilitation facility for an employee who has suffered an injury or sickness related to their work. And two, protection from liability. The system is safeguarded from any legal obligation to compensate the employee for any worsening or their injury or illness that results from changes made without authorization. In other words, if the employee decides to change their medical services, appliances, supplies, hospital, rehabilitation facility, or physician without proper approval from the system, the system cannot be held responsible for any negative consequences or increased harm. In essence, Article 186 establishes a framework where the system has the power to manage and approve medical care and facilities for injured or sickness employees. It emphasizes that unauthorized changes made by the employee may not hold the system liable for any resulting harm or complications. This provision is designed to ensure that the system can efficiently manage and oversee the medical care of injured workers while protecting itself from liability in cases where employees take actions independently. Article 187 Attending Physician. Attending physician typically refers to a legal or regulatory provision within a specific context, such as healthcare or insurance. In many healthcare systems and legal frameworks, Article 187 may outline the role and responsibilities of an attending physician. An attending physician is a primary healthcare provider responsible for the overall care and management of a patient's medical treatment. This role involves diagnosis, treatment planning, monitoring and follow-up, communication, documentation, and advocacy. Article 187 may also specify legal obligations and ethical responsibilities of attending physicians, including issues related to patients' confidentiality, informed consent, and the duty to provide competent and compassionate care. Article 187 can vary depending on the jurisdiction and the particular healthcare system or legal framework it pertains to. For precise information, it's essential to refer to the specific law or regulation in question. Article 188. Refusal of examination or treatment. Refusal of examination or treatment, often referred to as patient autonomy or informed consent, is a fundamental principle in medical ethics and law. It represents an individual's right to make decisions about their own medical care, including the right to decline examinations, tests, or treatment options recommended by healthcare professionals. The refusal of examination or treatment is a crucial aspect of medical ethics that upholds an individual's right to make informed decisions about their healthcare. This principle ensures that patients are actively involved in their medical care and have the freedom to accept or decline medical interventions based on their own values, beliefs, and preferences. Article 189. Fees and other charges. Article 189 of the law pertains to fees and charges associated with hospital services, medical care, and medical appliances. This article establishes several key principles, like fee standardization. All fees and charges for hospital services, medical care, and appliances, including professional fees, must not exceed the rates prevailing in general hospital wards for similar services provided to injured or sick individuals. In other words, the fees should be reasonable and in line with what is customary for such services. 2. Regulatory oversight. These fees and charges are subjected to regulation by a commission, likely a government authority or agency responsible for overseeing healthcare pricing and standards. This regulatory body ensures that the fees are fair and do not exploit patients. Last, limit on professional fees. Professional fees, which are the charges for medical services provided by healthcare professionals such as doctors, should not significantly exceed the rates specified in Republic Act Number 6111, also known as the Philippine Medical Care Act of 1969. This provision is in place to prevent excessive charges for medical services. So Article 189 seeks to protect the interests of patients by ensuring that fees and charges for healthcare services and medical appliances are reasonable, not exploitative, and subject to regulatory oversight. It also places a cap on professional fees to keep them in check, in accordance with the relevant Medical Care Act. And lastly, Article 190, Rehabilitation Services. Article 190 of a legal document, such as a law or regulation, typically pertains to rehabilitation services. Rehabilitation services are programs and interventions designed to assist individuals in recovering or improving their physical, mental, or social well-being after experiencing a disability, injury, illness, or other challenges. This article typically outlines the following aspects of rehabilitation services. Definition. It defines what constitutes rehabilitation services when may encompass a wide range of therapies, medical treatments, counseling, vocational training, and support services tailored to an individual's specific needs. Access and eligibility. Article 190 often outline who is eligible to receive rehabilitation services and how individuals can access these services. Eligibility criteria may include the type and severity of the condition or disability. And service providers. It specifies the responsible entities or organizations responsible for providing rehabilitation services. This could include public healthcare institutions, private providers, or nonprofit organizations. And scope and goals. The article typically clarifies the scope and objectives of rehabilitation services. These may include goals related to restoring functional abilities, improving quality of life, and facilitating social integration for those receiving rehabilitation. And right and protections. Article 190 often includes provisions to protect the rights of individuals receiving rehabilitation services. This could include ensuring confidentiality, informed consent, and the right to choose among available services. And last, funding and financing. It may address how rehabilitation services are funded and financed, whether through public healthcare systems, insurance coverage, government subsidies, and other mechanisms. Article 190 related to rehabilitation services serves to ensure that individuals with disabilities or health conditions have access to appropriate and effective interventions to help them regain or enhance their physical, mental, and social well-being. This specific of this article can vary depending on the legal jurisdiction and the context in which it is implemented. And that would be all. Thank you.